All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. We are taking a look tonight. It's a first look / early release copy of the Kvernland Vicon brand equipment pack. This is a new DLC for Farm Sim, and it is a fairly pricey DLC for equipment that we already have in game. So at first I was kind of like not super excited about this pack, to be honest with you. But as I've kind of delved into what it comes with, it really does offer some neat, unique things. Even though they're pieces of equipment we already have, they do some cool stuff. So I'm going to kind of show you what I found by messing around with the equipment, things that are different that make these things stand out a little bit from their already in-game pieces of equipment, things that you can get as mods. First of all, the quality is, of course, outstanding. Once again, Giants does a really good job making their models. We usually do not see this kind of detail level from mods. These are things that are pretty much, they're gorgeous and they look good, and they've spent a lot of time making this stuff look amazing. So that's the first thing that you're going to notice is just the quality of the equipment that we're seeing here, the detail levels. And I am playing on my laptop, so even there's a little bit less quality than you get if you have everything turned up all the way, but it looks really good. This is a real nice set of equipment. The second thing that's going to kind of set these apart is that they offer several options on the equipment that you don't get with other pieces of equipment. So there are some new things that have been brought in. Okay, first of all, we have this Kvernland plow. I thought this was a neat set, and I'll kind of go over the things that are unique. The plow also cultivates as you run it. So here's the cultivator section here. This is the plow section. So you run down the line, and then this actually flips, and the cultivator goes over the top, and it'll flip. And I'll show you this in operation so you can see all the different things that I'm talking about. But it'll cultivate the last place that you plowed, and you can actually rotate the plow and use it just like a normal rotating plow, but the cultivator will cultivate what you've plowed. So you end up basically plowing and cultivating all in one, and this can also create fields. So this has a full plow capability, but it cultivates at the same time. So yeah, we can do that with a subsoiler, but this is a unique way to do it. And it kind of is cool too. I like the way this one folds. When you put it on the back of the tractor, you can fold it up, and it'll actually follow behind the tractor and drag along, and it runs like a trailer. So it's pretty neat. Now we have some regular equipment. We have a 5-meter cultivator. We have a pretty heavy 7.5 or 7.7 meter cultivator. This is one thing that always bothered me in Farm Sim 15. We had these seeders that had a section here that would do I forget what you call this, but it's in the shop. We'll look real quick. Power Harrow, that's what it's called. So that has a power harrow in the front, and then the seeding section in the back, and also a dirt pounder, ground pounder, whatever you call this. Like this is a cultivator, basically, a roller. And so in real life, these seeders will break up the ground and then flatten it out and then seed. And so basically it's a cultivator and a seeder in one. Now, until this unit has come out, none of the ones actually worked. So if I went out and bought, let's say, like a modded, and I don't think there's any in the game default. Let's see real quick here. Now, the game doesn't come with any default, but there were some mods that came out that had this style seeder. None of them cultivated. They just seeded. So you'd have to cultivate using a cultivator and then run the seeder. But this one actually cultivates as it's seeding. So I think that makes this unique in the fact that you can do that. So it's kind of a neat unit. You can cultivate and seed all in one pass. And fertilize. So it does 3 in 1. Next up, we have a kit. This is also a seeder, believe it or not. Not a, I think, let me just double check before I say that. Pretty sure this is a seeding kit. Yeah, it is. Okay. So if you know the game and you've been playing it for a while, you'll know that in the corn header section, not corn headers, in the planter section, we've got these kits where you have a seeder or a planter and a container. Another set here from Vaderstat that plant corn and canola. Well, this is the same idea, but it's for a seeder. So instead it does wheat, barley, oats, things that those other planters can't do. But it comes in the same style kit. So you have a hopper up front that holds your seed and the seeder in the back. I believe, and we'll double check that in the shop, I believe that this does both. Seeding and fertilizing in a single pass. And it cultivates. let's see, does it do fertilizer? No. So this is a 2-in-1. It doesn't do fertilizer. It seeds and cultivates. So you cultivate first. There's obviously there in the front there. Once again, you have that power harrow, and then you have the cultivation wheels, and then the seeding section where it actually puts the seed into the ground. So it's a seed drill. So you don't need to plow or cultivate a field ahead of this. You just run this and seed at the same time. It's nice and wide too. It's actually a fairly wide unit. So now I could see transportation being a bit of a problem. I don't think this one folds, does it? It might. Actually, let's hook up a tractor to it and test it. That's one thing I didn't test. So we're going to grab our 700 series here, and I'm going to go ahead and see if that thing folds up for transportation. It would definitely make it a lot easier. All right, so here we go. Yep, it does. So it folds up nice and neat for transportation. Makes it easy to get it around the farm. Cool. Love stuff like that. And then once again, we have a larger offering of the same idea. I don't believe this guy cultivates ahead of itself. Let's check it in the shop. So this does, yes it does. This cultivates, and it does not fertilize. So once again, this is a non-fertilizing seeder. Basically, you cultivate and plant. And it's fairly wide. It folds up nice and neat, but it unfolds and seeds. But it also has that cultivation stage in the front, which can be seen right here with all these. Those are the cultivator tines. And it flattens it down for you. Here we have a unique piece of equipment. Not really. This is just a seed. This one's kind of cool because it's a very wide planter. Okay, so this plants corn and soybean, and I think this also does canola, which makes it a little bit different than some of the other ones, but we'll take a look real quick in the menu. This one does fertilize. So you got a fertilizer container here, and then the seeds get loaded into these pods here. One thing that makes it unique, and this tractor is a little small for this, but we'll go ahead and show you. You hitch this onto the back of the tractor and pull it, and that's kind of cool. When you get out to where you're going to actually do the seeding, you park it, and you're going to come out here and crash into it. And you're going to hook this onto the back, and it's ready to seed. And so I like that idea. I've seen other companies that do that. This is the first time in game that we've had that. And you can fold it up, and this thing unfolds, and now it's ready to go ahead and seed. But it's quite a wide corn seeder. One of the more wide ones in the game, actually. So instead of folding up, it runs sideways when you run it down the road like a trailer. So that's pretty cool. I like that piece of equipment. Let's take a look at that in the shop. So you have some of these big ones, like this guy. The tempo is, let's see, 129,000, requires 300 horsepower. That's 12 meters. This guy is only 9 meters, but it's also a lot less money. Holds less seed, but it does fertilize and seed at the same time. So now, with the added benefit, you'll notice here, this guy actually does canola on top of it, and that's what I was saying earlier. This thing actually will do canola, so that's kind of a neat added plus that it adds one more crop to what you normally would do. The next thing up that we have is over here, and I was working around here, so I got the other tractor parked. But we have another seeder. This one also does, now this one does not fertilize, but it's even wider. And it does, I believe this one does corn and canola and all that stuff. So let's see real quick here. This one does the same things that the other planters do, not seeder, but planters. But it does not do canola. However, this one is 12 meters. So it's the same width as this one. So the Vader stat's 129, This guy's only 79. However, it doesn't fertilize. It's just a basic planter. But it's still a neat idea. It gets you into a wide planting without having to get crazy on the price. But you're going to have to provide fertilizer. In other words, you'll have to follow behind with the fertilizer. You're not going to get any fertilization from this. And obviously, because it's a planter, like all the other planters, you have to cultivate too before you run it. So you'll cultivate the field. If you've done corn or soybean or sugar beets, you'll have to plow the field first too. So plow it, cultivate it, and then run this dude. But this will plant fast. That's a neat, unique piece of equipment that we don't have in game. All right, next up we have our sprayers. We have two different sprayers available. One's a trailer. One is obviously the carry pack. The unique thing about these sprayers is that you're able to purchase them in 3 different flavors, each one. Actually, I think this one has 5 different sizes. You can buy anywhere from 18 meters, I think, on this up to 32, and then this one goes up to like 40-something. But anyway, you can order it early on in the game with shorter arms, and then as you get more field space and need to spray more, you can buy longer arms. And so that's kind of a unique feature because the other sprayers don't allow you to do that. Now, I'll show you that in here. Sorry, my wife's computer is going crazy with notifications. We're trying to fix it. I know, we're trying to fix it. All right, so here you can see it's 18 meters, and then you can buy it with a 24 or 28. This guy's 18 meters, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. So 40 is the longest one that you can buy. That's pretty wide. But it's neat because you can pick all the different lengths that you want, and it does increase the price, but not a ton. I don't know why you wouldn't just buy the longest one, but I guess if you have smaller fields, you might want to purchase something smaller. If you have like a Campaign of France map or something like that. Here we have just a spreader, regular old spreader, nothing special about that. We have a pull-behind mower. This is kind of the same idea as the New Holland that's already in the game. It's a disc mine. The only thing I don't like about this mower is that it only really cuts to the left or behind. The disc mine that you have from New Holland can go all the way left or all the way right. So you can move it depending on which way you're mowing. This one you kind of have to always mow the same direction because it only goes to the left. However, or let me think about this, it goes out to the right, so you run on the left of it. But the nice thing about it is that it has a very short running arm. The New Holland arm is like 3 times as long, so it's like out to here. So it's a lot harder to manage as far as like getting around corners and stuff, but this guy has a shorter arm. So I guess that's one way to look at that. We have a tedder. It's a regular old tedder. This is a big winner for a lot of people. However, it's super expensive, but it is a continuous baler with wrapper. So if you're doing straw or hay, it'll wrap it or bale it. If you're doing grass, it'll bale it and wrap it. Now, the nice thing about this round baler is that it doesn't stop. So you just bale, 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 bale. There's no slowing down, no stopping. It will just continue to run. So that's very nice. Makes life easier and makes you not have to, worry about stopping. Because, with a regular round baler, you have to stop, you have to unload it, and you have to do it manually, and it's annoying. But this thing just runs and runs and runs. So you just run it. And I like that. So this is I think this is probably the coolest thing that comes with the pack, probably the most useful thing that people are going to get out of it. But once again, I like some of the other features that I've been showing you. Like, I really like this. This is just unique. But I think that this is probably what most people are going to be excited about. Next up, we have a bale wrapper. This is for round bales only, and like the Ursus model, this has a wheel that pops down, and when the bale falls off, it'll dump off to the side. You can buy it with or without this. Why would you want it to dump on its side? Well, mostly when bales come out of these wrappers and stuff, they're left rolly side down. I don't know how to explain it, but they're on the circle or they will roll. If you're working on hillsides, this is useful because it'll put the bale up on its butt, on its end, so that it doesn't roll anywhere. And then what's funny is that, and this is where it works out well, We have our Andersen Pack, which I don't think I've loaded. Let me think about this. Did I load Andersen? I hope I did. Yeah, I did. No, I didn't. The Andersen pickup wagon for silage bales actually has an arm that's designed to pick up bales that are set on their side. So you could use this with the Andersen that picks up the bales, the silage wrapped bales with its arm, and it picks them up sideways, and that's how you want to pick them up. So you'd use this and that together and end up with that. But you can't use this with this baler. That's the ironic part, because this thing already wraps. So there's no point in using this. But if you're using another baler, then you would, that doesn't wrap, then you'd use this. So anyway, but it's neat that it has that feature that you can use with the Andersen kit. Another thing that's very distinctive about this kit, we have a mower set and a front mower. They all go together. These guys windrow. Yep, you heard me right. So we actually finally have a mower kit that windrows. And so you can run along and mow three mowers wide worth of grass and get one small windrow out the back, and then run your baler right behind it and wrap it, and you're done. No longer have to, windrow after you've done this. So this is kind of a cool thing too. I think this is probably the other, what I would call winner addition to this pack. This is going to make people very happy because they are going to be able to mow and windrow at the same time. So that's pretty cool. It does some weird stuff. I've mowed with it. You can set it to windrow half of it and then leave the other half unwindrowed. Now, what I thought when I was done was this. And I'll show you. Actually, let's go do that. I'll show you the operation of this next, and we can kind of decide what we're going to do with that. But I think what they're getting at when you do that is a certain thing, and I'll show you. Okay, so last but not least, we have our actual windrower here from Vicon. It's just a windrower. It's nothing crazy. I don't think it does anything unique. I played with it a little bit, but I didn't really notice anything different than any other windrower. So I'm sure there's a reason why Vicon would want you to use theirs versus others, aside from just spending money on them. So let's go ahead and grab our big Fendt, and I'm going to head over to the field, and I'm going to show you the special mowers in action. So I will be back. All right, we've arrived at the field, and I am going to unfold this and get it rolling. You can see I was playing around here a little bit before, so some of the grass is already mowed, but I try to figure these things out beforehand so that I don't have to look like an idiot while I'm mowing or running the equipment. Like, this is how I think you do it. Oh, wait. You guys have experienced that in my videos before. So we need to start the mowers and put them down, and I think that we're ready to go. So you can see here, it's rowing in the middle, and we're going to... Wait, why isn't the front mower mowing? What? I forgot to put it up. Or down. Yeah. I meant to do that. All right. Going for that. Never mind. All right, so we're going to mow this one row like this, and then I'm going to show you the other operation mode, and it's a little funky, but I'll show you why I think it does what it does. So this is the main mode that you're going to operate in, but then you can also do, let's see, what buttons do I press? It's lift mower, right? No, toggle work mode. And that's going to be this one. Yep. Okay, we can do that. And they still mow the same, but the left one's going to windrow in. Isn't that weird? And so then you're leaving like half of it regular spread out and the other half of it windrow. But I'll show you why I think they're having us do this. And I could be wrong about this, but correct me if I'm wrong. But you guys will see. You guys will see what I'm thinking. So then you come back this way and you just leave it set like that. And you'll see. So once we'll pretend like the whole field's mowed like that, right? So I'm going to bring the baler down here, and we're going to play around a little bit, and I'll show you what I think the reason for that mode is. It's a little weird, but it may just work. All right, so first phase of operation here, you're going to collect the windrowed portion of your mowing. And since we did the first row, just all windrowed. Because once again, when you have cows and you want to do TMR, you need both silage and hay. And in order to do that, you're going to have, like if you have a grass field, you're going to have both. Oh, by the way, notice on this baler, I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep baling. It's almost full, but I don't have to actually stop when I'm done filling it up. So watch that. There it goes. It automatically shifts it to a pre-roller and continues to collect. Once it reaches a certain capacity, it'll put the bale out into the wrapper. Sometimes you'll notice you're running at 20, sometimes you're running at 13. It automatically adjusts the speed tractor. That is a real thing, by the way. The baler tells the tractor how fast it needs to go to keep the operation smooth, and it will actually automatically adjust the speed of the tractor to get the right baling. But look at there. And so the next bale comes out. So we've created 2 silage bales, and we're still collecting. Now I'm done collecting because I ran out of stuff to collect, but you can just keep going. So pretty neat device right there. That Vicon is going to be very useful in game. I wish it wasn't so expensive. It is $110,000, but here's what I think. I think the other half of what's going on here is that we've now got this grass that I made a mess with, 2 rows of it, and we're going to grab our Vicon / Kvernland tedder. And you will note that this game allows you to, or this pack allows you to kind of change between brands. So some of the brands can be Kvernland and Vicon, some can be just Vicon, some can be just Kvernland. But on a lot of the stuff, you can pick which brand you want if you want to say Vicon or Kvernland. Obviously, it's the same brand. But so now look, now we're going to make hay from the remainder. Now, unfortunately, you're going to have to windrow this, but that's my thought. So you'd windrow this, and I'll do that in the next phase here, and then we'll bale that too, and we'll get both hay and silage off the same field easily. So that's my idea. I think that's why they have us be able to do half mode with spread and half mode windrowed. We get to do both. So there we go. I'll be right back. All right, so we're unfolding this windrower, and very simple, basic design. And it looks it's about the right width for what we're doing, too. So I think maybe these are designed kind of as a kit to go together. And that's cool. I like kit stuff. I like stuff that goes all together in a group. So we'll take this down and make a row of that. And I'd also need the windrow. I think this will be enough to make a single bale, hopefully. I'd like to see how the hay operation works on the Vicon baler. Let's go ahead and grab that. And then we're going to grab this. Oops, that's the wrong side. I thought that was the... Whoa, dog bark. Easy. Oh, God. Okay, so we're going to connect up to the baler, and we're going to run down to the field here. Start this thing up. Now, it has grass in it. I'm assuming, like all the other balers, when I hit the hay, it will switch over to the other type. So... let's get that. Yep, so it just switched over to... Now, what sucks is it's still coming out as grass. I wanted it to come out as hay, so we're going to have to make more hay. It used to switch, like when you picked it up, it would switch, but now it's doing the opposite. It's staying grass. And so let's go ahead and... Alrighty then. So we are here. We're going to bale the hay. Or not. I'd have to put the thing down. So let's see how this comes out. I've done some mowing and just straight up tedding. And we'll go ahead and see what this looks like coming out. It should just come out and dump out. And then I'll take you next door and we'll take a look at that fancy plow, and then that'll be it for tonight's view. I think we've seen everything that this stuff does that is unique for the most part, which is what I wanted to bring you. I didn't want you to... I basically want you to see why this kit is unique and what's different about it. Once again, I think like the Andersen Pack, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to look at this and go, it's just the same stuff. But it's not. It really does do things differently, but yes, it is the same stuff because it's the same we do have things that are similar in the game, but it does things differently, and I like that. I personally, part of this game is trying different equipment and putting kits together. I really like, branding stuff. So I like to have like a farm that has all Fendt tractors or all class tractors or all, and once again, this gives us the opportunity to do that same thing, though I think some of us probably wish John Deere, that this had the John Deere branding on it instead of Vicon and Kvernland. And I would agree with that for the most part, but instead we got Vicon. So someday maybe they'll do a John Deere equipment pack and the world will be saved because everyone will be just so overjoyed. There'll be peace on earth. The riots will stop. COVID will go away, and it'll be a happy place to live again because we have John Deere equipment in our favorite game. But here is the Vicon plow / cultivator in action. I really like this device. I think it's a unique device. Now, what makes it different than the subsoiler? Well, you can actually create fields with this, like I said earlier. And so that makes it a little bit different than our standard subsoiler. It also has a fairly low horsepower requirement. I believe it's below the 200 mark. Let's take a look in the shop real quick. I forget. Plouvs. Yeah, it's 165, which is a really low because you have the 6-meter culti plows. Those are 110 horsepower, 120 horsepower. And, I'm sorry, they're 4 meters. They're not 6 meters. They're 4 meters. And then you have this guy that is also about 4 to 5 meters total. It might even get more. It actually gets double that done. It's about 6 meters in total working with. But it's a little weird how it gets it because it's kind of doing half and half. So that, this is a little bit more efficient than the subsoiler as far as width. And if you get the bigger subsoiler, which is 8 meters, that subsoiler is going to require a 450, 425. It's a high horsepower tractor, whereas this one you can get away with a 160, 170 horsepower tractor. So, that makes this a little bit different. It gives you some width without having to be too crazy on the horsepower. I love the way that thing works. Also, I wanted to show you this. That's work mode, but when you fold it up to go on the road, this is cool. I like this. It actually folds up nice and neat. Makes a small profile, and you can drag it along the road like this, and it becomes a trailer. So just neat stuff. And look here, this field I've already gotten halfway done just with a little bit of work. So I give this pack a thumbs up for sure. At $14.99, it is. I by mistake did a create field right there. It is a little bit on the pricey side. I think it's a little more expensive than a lot of people are going to want to spend, but I personally will end up having to buy it because my wife doesn't have a copy, so I'm going to have to buy her a copy so she can play on my farms. She doesn't want it, but she's going to get it anyway. And I think it's worth it. So anyway, have a good night, guys. Be sure to subscribe. Thumbs up always help, and I will see you next time on Farm Sim 19. Hopefully you enjoyed this first look / semi-review, and we'll see you guys this week. Bye.